morning, ladies. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ladies. How are you?
Hey, doing great this morning, this afternoon. How are you ladies doing?
Feeling good, feeling excited about every day. No, just excited about every single day. Every single day we wake up, it's all good.
Yes, that is so absolutely true with all that's going on around us. If we can wake up each day with an attitude of gratitude, then we have accomplished 80% of what we're here to do.
Absolutely. So, Madflo, last week you were here alone. I'm sorry, we had
Oh,
so
that's
much
okay.
going on.
Solo. It went pretty well. It went pretty well with one of our guest speakers, which was from Taking the Journey, Craig and Sharon Butts. Sharon Butts was able to join. The husband was not able to join, but it was very intriguing. Very intriguing. Um, I think the audience got a good information on where they could definitely so many locations that was available for back to school. So back to school events. I think there's maybe about 8 or 9 events going on around the community. So a lot of information was shared.
Well, yes, I'm gonna throw up a few so that people are aware and hey, y'all, we didn't even welcome people to Financial Sense. Hey,
I'm so
All right,
excited.
happy Friday. And
yeah,
welcome to Financial Sense, where we provide information regarding not only your finances, but everything that leads to your entire wealth.
It does. It
absolutely.
does.
So, so we want to share with you some of the events that are going on this weekend and possibly next, so that you can save money by going out to some of these back to school events. So I'm going to pull up the ones that Flo showed last week. We have one that's this Saturday from 6 to 10. There's going to be a giveaway out in Richmond Hill on the 30th. So that's tomorrow. So we want to encourage you guys to go out, mingle, see people. We've been locked up so long now. I'm not sure if these events are drive-throughs. Do you know, Flo, whether or not any of these are drive-throughs?
I'm not sure. They didn't mention it was drive-throughs. I think they're all open. Walk up. You can get it in lines. I don't think there's drive-throughs.
And, parents, it's a great thing to go out to these events because you'll get a whole lot more information, maybe about some of the different programs that are going on, summer camps. There'll be other vendors there. And so you probably will gain a whole lot more information. This is another one that happens every year out at Overcoming by Faith at the Rock Fest. That's a back to school event out on Middle Ground Road, and that is tomorrow. They even do uniforms. So
Hmm.
hopefully you all put in for your uniforms because they give away uniforms at the Rock Fest. We want to encourage you to go to that event. Then there's
That
another
is
one.
awesome. That is awesome. They're giving out uniforms. I didn't know that they did that. I mean, that is amazing.
Yeah, they have a lot of good activities out there. So it's a busy day. They not only give out uniforms, but they have lots of activities for the kids to get involved with. In they have a lot of food, a lot of vendors. So it's usually a good time for the kids, and they give away really nice backpacks with stuff inside. So that's another. I don't have a lot of information on this next one, which is July 30th. Manifested Vision Back to School Bash. I'm not sure where this one is. And then, of course, the one that I have been involved in for years, which is the Ready, Set, Go Back to School event, which is going to be held August 6th at the old East Broad Elementary School, now called the Formy Learning Center. It's going to be on Saturday from 10 to 12. We ask you to bring your kids out to this event. So we're trying to help you save financially with purchasing school supplies, and getting some great information. I know on next week's August 6th, and this is what after school goes back in. Um, so this is after school goes back in, and you'll be able to get some school supplies, the other things that you didn't pick up and may need, Please come out on August 6th with the Ready, Set, Go Back to School Committee. Lots of sponsors, lots of people, lots of folks that want to talk to you and give you things. This is a drive through event. This one is drive through. But everybody, as you're parked and getting ready to come in, you'll have vendors and people coming to your doors to bring you some really nice goodies and providing you not only with back to school items, but also possibly some toiletries and other things too that we're going to be doing this year. So, really excited about this event. All
It
right.
sounds exciting. It sounds exciting. So everyone in the community who, can hear us, where our voices reach, please, avail of these things. Go out there, get the supplies. They're there. You won't have to purchase, anything if, because everything is there. So that, minimal things that you may have to purchase.
And if you don't have any children, but you know someone who has some school-age children and they're not able to get out there, how about doing a friend a favor and just going out there and picking up for them? If your friend has no way of getting there, that's
Absolutely.
share that share that with your friends.
Absolutely. And, this is an excellent and exciting day. And I'm excited today because I have my friend of many, many years, Miss Dot Drayton Griffin, who is going to be with us with her daughter, Ashley, who I've known for quite some time also. I can't say that, let's see, Ashley was probably about 14, 15 when I met Ashley, and now she is an entrepreneur and business owner. And we are excited to have Ashley and Dot with us.
Thank
Hello,
you so much, Miss Tanya. Thank you all for having us.
Hello, hello. I am excited about this show as well. What you guys are going to be talking about today, I've sent it out to absolutely everyone I can think of and have asked them to share it. So I'm just excited to hear about what you do, and I understand you have a game, and there's just so much to share. So this is really, really exciting.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you, Tanya.
well,
We
hey, Ashley, I just want you to begin. You have this awesome game that my child, and her friends have played. It's because we got it as soon as we heard and got it. It came out on the market, and so I want you to go ahead and talk about what you've been doing.
Okay, well, what the game is, you kind of have to start from the beginning. So my business started with financial literacy flashcards, because I was working on one side of town and then I went to another side of town, and I realized that the information that people knew was not the same. And so me and my coworkers, I was like, what? Somebody came in and was like, hey, dividends. What is dividends? Y'all taking my money. And I had to explain to that person what dividends were. And so I wanted to create a simple way for people to learn with the flashcards. And so once I got the flashcards and people start buying them, like, oh my God, they want them. I was like, well, I want them to know how these cards are going to make a difference in their life. So I created a board game, just so that they can use the words that they were learning, understand insurance, understand credit, those type of things while having fun. A big thing about my business is I like for all things to be fun. So a board game just was something fun. And I met Miss Tanya because my Uncle Greg and Auntie Quando. And also in the beginning, my Uncle Greg was like, you should think about coming out with the game. And you like, oh yeah, okay. Then when I got sick in the hospital, it was something that I was able to come up with, and it actually came out in 2020, when people were at home with their families. COVID hit and school was out and people were virtual schooling, so parents found joy in being able to teach their kids financial literacy lessons. And we try to keep the game in stock, but whenever it's on the shelves, they buy it pretty quickly. So that's a blessing in itself. Be able to say that, because I mean, I don't know. I guess sometimes I think about it. It's like, why do I have a board game? And then sometimes somebody be like, do you know you have an app? And I'm like, yeah, I have an app. But my mother is very important in my life, and she's always taught me, like, if you want to do it, just do it. Create a plan and do it. When I told her about this business, she was like, "Oh, really? That's what you want to do? Let's figure out how we can make it work." I mean, she's an entrepreneur at heart. So her by my side, being able to push me forward to make sure I have a picture that I'll probably never share with me in the bed when I first got out of the hospital, and we were writing notes. I was telling her things that I wanted her to write on a notepad for notes for the board game, and just being able to look back at that now and being able to, like, people like, oh, I have a financial literacy game. I was in Target in the other day, and like I said, I sometimes forget. And this lady, she was like, "Yo, this," her telling her kids, she was like, "This is the lady with the game. This is the game since we played." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's me. Thank you. Are y'all having fun? Are you learning?" So it's a huge blessing.
Oh, congratulations. Congratulations. It's great to hear that the game is going off the shelves. That's fantastic. Congratulations. We
Thank
are
you.
so very proud of you. And I know your Uncle Greg is proud of you too. He needs to be on this call today. So I'm going to see if I can force him to get on with me. So Dot, what, she started it. She talked about it. Now, what was your involvement?
Well, early on, when I was doing training on finances, I used to tell her, "You need to be doing this." I didn't know in what capacity, and she would always say, "No, Ma, that's you. I'm not doing that." And I said, "Patrice, this is so you." Well, one day, like she said, she came in and said, "I'm ready to do financial literacy, but I don't want to deal with adults. I want to start with the children." And I said to her, "Shh, don't tell anybody else. Let's figure out how to work this. Let's put it together behind the scenes, and then we'll share it." And sure enough, she was very serious about doing it. She was talking to everybody, constantly getting information. Then she got ill, and when she got ill, what was amazing is it was a setback for a setup. We didn't see it then,
Amen.
but while she was ill, that's when this game was birthed. And she's ill, and whenever she would wake up, she's like, "Mom, God told me this," and we just start writing it down. Sure enough, when she got out, we build because we already had the cards, and we started building and adding other products. And I mean, she's so smart and so sharp, and I'm always here for her. I always have her back, and we have a mama daughter moments. I win, but it just take that organization and planning because she's got it all up there. And so we kind of work together to make sure everything happens. And we're constantly keeping our eye out to see what the trends are, seeing what parents are thinking about our products. She's done a really good job with setting up persons to video when they're having games and they're having fun times and doing the cards. And we've got lots of videos that let us know that we're doing the job and we're doing it well.
Awesome. That is awesome. So, Ashley, so mom was working with adults and you said, no, I don't want to work with adults. What motivated you to want to share this with children?
Number one, because I had children, and so when I would come up with words, um, we at the job we'd come up with words like, what are some words y'all feel like everybody should know when they come in a bank, like basic words. And so when I recorded my children, teaching my children on Facebook one day, and then people were like, "Hey, I need this, I want this, I can't have that, please tell me these are flashcards." I always say, actually, my Uncle Greg and Auntie Quando's niece, LaQuanya, and Sinquanza, a lady who helped me with getting it started early on in the beginning, they were like, "You need to make this a business like right now," because once again, my mom's an entrepreneur, so I have that entrepreneur spirit as well. And from there, we started. Like, I always tell my, when we ordered the first set of 500 flashcards, and I was like, "What are we going to do if all of these flashcards are still in the office? What's going to happen?" Um,
And they flew out the window.
and they we got those out, but now they go fast when they send me pictures of when they're shipping stuff to us. Now I'm still like, oh my god, one of these years when I first started. But I realized that it's a lot of things set me toward this. me and my best friend were having a conversation one day, and she was like, a lot of times in our community, when we know something, especially with finance, we are afraid to share it or talk about it with each other. And she said, if you know something, you should share that information. And so I felt like financial literacy was my thing. I fell in love with economics in 10th grade at Johnson High School. Um, so from there, it just was, I mean, it just felt natural. I started with classes pre-COVID. Actually, July 29th, I think this is the exact date. 3 years ago is when I did my last financial literacy in-person class. We do a lot of virtual, but that was the last in-person. And I don't know. And that was the day I called my mama. And after the class, I was so sick. I had two of my friends come and assist me. I was so sick. I called her. She was out of town, and I called her. I was like, "Hey, something is wrong with me. You got to come back in town." And she came. Like she said, she always has my back. Although I have a husband and my own children, she did come.
Nothing like
They
mama.
like mama.
And I called her, and that was the last day. So I haven't done in-person class in 3 years. It's absolutely amazing. Quick, because from there, when I first got sick, July 29th, on September 3rd, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. So I had a lot of time in the bed because I really couldn't walk. So that's why I always say I was telling her about the game, and she was right, because I was in bed, and she almost every picture in 2019, my kids are in the bed with me because I couldn't really walk. But being ill, hospital and rehab, I realized that what kind of legacy is that I want to leave? Like, what do you want people to say about you after you're gone? Like, I didn't know I just had a chronic illness and I would bounce back. I was like, oh my God, I am going to die and I'm not going to have anything to leave the world. And so from there, that's when I just took it up a notch. I started living, started educating, and it's been absolutely amazing. Within that first year, I was out from July to like end of October. I started my business in April. It's always people always ask this, so I'll say it. I started this business the same year I was diagnosed with a chronic illness, and so that took about 6 months out of it. But even at the same time, with me being ill, it's absolute blessing because I was able to create. I made six figures my first year teaching financial literacy lessons for children, flashcards, e-commerce. So that was a blessing when I saw that. And then so when COVID came, I was able to keep growing and I was able to leave my job at the bank. So now I do Sense to Sense full time. And I'm super excited that we have our first financial in-person class in Savannah scheduled for September 17th.
All right.
Yes.
Yes, so we are back. We're back with our banking and budgeting classes. We're back with our credit and investing classes. Even I'm talking about a cryptocurrency class for Robinhood. I was able to.
Yes.
Um,
This is amazing.
Last year, a friend that I went to high school with, we teamed up on a project and we created cryptocurrency cards for Robinhood for their back office. So now with that information that I'm learning, I'm like, hey, because that was also new to me. It was something that I had to, it was weeks where I was like, my head was like hurting trying to understand the process of cryptocurrency. But it's amazing. Now I can pick up the cards. I'll be like, hey, you need to do this. We're talking about this guy. And able to, and I always learn. See, I try to make my lessons simple. So I always test out my kids with the learning material. Are they getting it? Are they having fun? Is the type of things that I do. And when my son, when I know what I'm doing at cards, then I'm like, okay, here, I'm gonna explain this to you. Can you explain it back to me? So I try to do things on the simplest form. So it's not just for kids, it's for anybody. You could be 42, don't know anything about financial literacy, grab some cards, and I promise you, you'll learn something.
Is that all?
Well, let me ask you now. How old? Well, let me introduce myself. My name is Anthony Murray. I'm one of the hosts. I'm sorry I missed you ladies in the beginning, but let me ask you something because you have children. How old are your children and how old are you?
Now, Mr. Murray.
Mr. Murray.
Ask a woman how old she is.
And when y'all just calm down, this is a very important question here.
Children.
My children are 13 and 11, and I'm 37. I'm 37 years old.
That's awesome. So now, how old were your children when you started? So 3 years ago is when
Yes.
you
Yes,
started this.
yes, my
So
daughter.
what
I
about
the
have you tested this with children younger than your children?
Yes, yes, yes,
Because this
yes,
is amazing. I mean, this is a godsend.
yes, yes.
I believe this is the answer to. Are you in the school system, helping the school system out?
I'm not yet, but I want to be.
Yes.
But listen, if Instagram is where my biggest market is. A mom sent me a picture where she was quizzing her 7-year old and her 2-year old on the words. And she's asking the 7-year old, like, hey, what is this? The 2-year old jumps in and says, a budget. He jumps in the conversation and says it's a budget. I mean, for me, it was always a hard question because you know your children and you know what they're capable of. I don't like to put limit on people, especially not kids, because I never would have thought a 2-year old would somebody would ask them what tool used to keep track of your income and expenses, and they jump out and say budget. I'm like, what? So it totally blows my mind. And even there's a 6-year old. She started when she was 5. She's one of our ambassadors for the business, and
Wow.
she can tell you about the stock market. I mean, my Instagram is sense to sense, my same as my business. If you go on there, there are tons of videos. So one, I did get a lot of parents who were wanting to know more. How can they introduce their younger kids? So I came out with the coloring book. It's a book slash coloring book for younger children. And with the book, it's called Peyton Says After My Godson. With the book,
Mm.
you are able to you read a story about how Peyton says how he has this goal to buy a trampoline. And at the end of the book, guess what? Your child can create them a plan for their goals. They can see what they can do to create money. And it comes with a piggy bank, just like the young man had in the book, so that they can see that correlation. Hey, we can start
Wow.
now. I mean, it's easy. One of the easiest things is piggy bank money for kids small, for the toddlers. Hey, that's what we want to take $1 and put it in here. We're going to take a quarter, and they see.
Yeah.
And the great thing about piggy bank is the kids can see their money growing, and
Right.
I mean, we like to see our money
Ashley,
growing, and so they like it as well.
hey
Wow.
Ashley, this is Madflo. I have a couple of questions for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you guys for being on the on this morning call. Well, this
Thank
morning
you for
show
having
for
us.
us. Absolutely. And I know Tanya and Rosetta, one of you guys did an excellent job getting these women here. I know it's probably Tanya.
Tanya.
Absolutely fantastic. They are out there really getting these great guests for the show. But you know what? I am right now on your site. It's sold out.
Yeah,
You sold
yeah,
out.
that happens a
But
lot.
no,
I'm
but
sorry, guys, that
listen,
happens a lot. I try to keep the
I'm
game
going to
in.
get mine. I'm going to get mine. I have 2 grandkids, so I'll make my purchase. But y'all guys, listen now. Listen to these rave reviews that we have here. Brought this for my 10 and 7-year-old niece and nephew. Financial literacy at an early age creates intimate knowledge. Thank you. My love this game. My child is a little young to understand what credit means, but getting them to understand about money to buy property is an excellent start. Once COVID lifts, family gatherings are sharing this with everyone. I mean, the information you're giving here, all of this stuff is absolutely wonderful. I mean, it's something just like Anthony Murray said, here's the godsend. And one thing I want to pay attention to, what you said was that you were sick in the hospital. So through COVID, so many companies collapsed, truly. But those who really strive and saw something that God had for them, they rised above while others went down. Just like your mother said, the setback was a setup for you.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
God was in, God has your life basically set out just like he has everyone's life set out. We don't know what the next day is going to bring, but God does. And girl, you was on it, absolutely on it. Now, another
Yes,
thing I want to ask you is this: players, how many players can play that game at one time? Is it
4.
set up for great 4 games? So I got 2 grandkids, so I can get that one game. Both of them can play. Bring in some good friends, 2 other friends with them,
Mhm.
or me and my daughter will play games with them, and boom, we got it there. I
Yeah,
saw
I
the
think
price on
Tanya did
the
something similar.
yeah,
Tanya
and I
did.
saw the price
Tanya
on the
did
site.
something
So
similar.
if you want to share the price later on, that's fine. Now another thing is this: how did you come up with the name? How'd you come with that fantastic name? I love that name.
Oh, I didn't know that would be a question that so many people would ask. I don't know. I have no idea. It was a once again. I refer to my mama and Uncle Greg was always good at naming businesses. So I don't know. I don't. I really don't know what.
Actually,
So I was asking friends. One of my good friends, Tiffany. We were trying to do. If you see on Instagram, I have cents, the number TO cents, and I have cents 2 cents.
Yeah,
Because I wasn't really sure, but cents 2 cents just kind of it
kind of
took
made sense.
kind of made
Yes.
sense.
yeah, it
Yeah,
made
and
sense.
we wanted to call the show. We wanted to call the show "How to Teach Kids That Your 2 Cents Matters,"
Yeah, oh,
because that was
that's
a
a
play
good
on
one. I
words.
love it.
But the first name came out. But you guys and the follow your mom's footsteps is awesome, because I'm always thinking this when it comes to financial literacy. Every person, basically, no matter how old they are, they're limited to the knowledge they receive from growing up,
Right,
basically, because
right,
they're going to learn exactly what their parents know. And the
right,
parents can only teach them what they know. So when they
right,
get older, if they've never had any other teaching or learning about finance, about money, their mind is always going to be limited when it comes to financial literacy, the knowledge that they need. And it's only limited because of what the parents taught them. But we have to learn that there's resources out there that we can get this information. The only sad thing is the fact that most people do not venture out to teach or get that learning that they need, because they think sometimes they got it all, they know it all. But financial literacy, you can never know too much. Never know
Absolutely.
too much.
Never ever. Your Uncle
And
Greg and Aunt Quandle should be on this line. I don't even know why they're not asking questions, but they should be there. We're gonna tell them hi anyway.
Well, actually,
right.
you mentioned how you're never too young. That children are never too young, and I'm just thinking. My daughter's pediatrician is absolutely amazing. Tanya and I have the same pediatrician for our children, ironically. But she always said to me, whenever you're in the grocery store or anywhere, you can teach math, teach identification of products, because children are sponges, and they can absorb anything no matter how young they are, and they can repeat things, and they learn. And so hearing you say that you had a 7-year-old and a 2-year-old on, and that the 2-year-old would jump in and answer the question sometimes even quicker than a 7-year-old. And I think that's so important. Please repeat that to our audience, how important it is that children can learn anything at any age. We just have to make sure that the environment is right, just like Flo was saying, and remember things that we didn't know, that we didn't understand. There's a way that we can share that knowledge, because we know that getting this knowledge now leads to financial independence and
Mhm.
financial, generationally down the line. But it starts right now with children.
Right. And that's exactly another reason why I wanted to deal with kids instead of adults. I wanted to take a proactive approach. Can
Mhm.
we fix it before there are mistakes? Like, can we go into it where they know what they're doing? Can we make sure? I told a mom of a 19-year-old to add her daughter as an authorized user. And she messaged me. She was like, girl, my daughter has a 786 score just because I did that. And she had no idea about it. And so I try to sit information like that. I mean, even if you're talking about kids, when I take my kids to the store, we can be at the dollar store. This is how it will start. And we swipe in my card, and guess what? It's gonna ask you, is it debit or credit? We've talked about those words. Which
Right.
one do you think we should do for this $4 purchase? What do you think we should do, debit or credit? And even what I started doing is for my kids that want to eat everything and out everywhere. Guess what? Today we are going to write our budget. And what I want you guys to do is I want you all to go to 2 different stores and tell me which one has the best prices for the things we need. It is absolutely amazing how quickly those kids change to having tomato and grilled cheese some days because they saw the cost associated with it. Hey, I'm not just going to the store and getting food just because they were able to see that. So hey, when you're 16, when you're 17, getting ready to go to college, baby, you're gonna have to pay for that food. I remember in college, well, when we got those refund checks and it was time to go grocery shopping. Me and my college roommates.
Oh boy.
We probably should have had a budget then. We were just way too excited to go to Walmart and get some groceries at that time. You know, we had ate enough breakfast for dinner. And that's just small lessons like that you can incorporate. Saving with the bank, 2 years old, saving. And then growing from savings that you get your kids 7 and 8. Hey, write a budget, especially your teens. You're going to school shopping, write a budget for what you want for your school. So you can see if those $200 shoes are worth the rest that you have going on with your day. And that's another thing that I try to teach people is that you can have anything that you want in life. You're going to either have to make more money, be smarter with your money, investing, you can be smarter, you can get another income, or you're going to have to cut some expenses. For me, I'm a person, I love sneakers. I love Jordans. I've been wearing Jordans since I was in the 2nd grade, okay? But what I wanted to buy a house, and I took the time. I was like, you know what? I don't think I like these shoes that much. I want to cut my budget. I'm going to cut my budget, and that way, that money I could sit toward, my clothing costs. And right then and there, it's like, hey, do I really what's best? But when you look back in it, you're like, oh girl, that was so worth it to take that time. You can have anything you want if you have your budget. I mean, on my website, if you guys go to my I'll give you some information with Tanya so we can make sure everyone has a budget. Everybody on the line needs a budget. No big or no small. And if you don't have a budget, you don't have any income now, guess what? Write your budget for when how much is it you want to make? What is the income you want to create? Write your budget like that. See it before it happens. I mean, a lot of people, adults think that once you mess up with your credit, you mess up with your money, you can't bounce back. You can.
And I think that's the biggest sin. The financial sin is lack of budget.
Yeah.
And with us, even when they were little, if they wanted something, sure, we could have gotten it for them, but we taught them, okay, you want a
baby alive.
The baby alive, Mom?
You wanted a baby alive.
Yes.
Okay? But listen, you've already gotten all those basic needs, and we've already had Christmas, you've already had your birthday. Okay, how are we going to get a baby alive? And so we taught them early on, you're going to write your budget, you're going to save your money. And she went and got that baby.
It was on layaway. I had took my little pennies and stuff. They made my mama and my daddy, I hope you're on here. You could have bought me that dog.
But it was a major lesson because the biggest sin is no budget.
That's right.
And what we do is when we talk about we want to do something, one of the first things we do is I'll pick up a piece of paper from anywhere.
She will.
And just start writing it down. Okay, you all want to do this? What's the cost? And another thing is for people, when you're making money, people don't really understand how to create a budget because if you're making $50,000 a year, do not make a budget for $50,000 a year because you're not bringing home $50,000. Right. Then you still end up upside down because you got to face the facts.
We'll be teaching that in our financial literacy class for children that's going to start on September 7th, October 1st. We're going to be teaching, hey, guess what, guys? My annual income is $36,000, and I want kids to see that, and they're going to get excited, and then we're going to break that down, the taxes, the insurance, the everything. Exactly. I want them to have a real life experience. I want them to be able to see the whole thing. Hey, yes,
the real deal.
The real deal.
Yeah, that's extremely important. What you're doing here. Have you ladies been approached by the major corporations to really market your game?
whenever somebody emails me, it scares me a little. But I'm stopped being scared. But we have been in touch with a lot of people. Get in touch with us about the game. Um, yeah.
We're working on it. We're
Yeah, because this is something that will um, revolutionize the entire country, and I believe it's going to go international if it hasn't already.
Yeah.
You know,
Thank
I really believe that. You know, God doesn't do anything in a closet.
absolutely.
Right.
God doesn't do anything in the closet. You know, and so what you have going on here is just not too good to be true, but too good to be kept a secret. So
Right.
I believe that Monopoly or these other companies out there, you know, you need to get in touch with what are they called, trademark attorneys,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
and just let them work for you, so you could market this thing, because this is where a lot of people that come up with innovations like yours, this is where they get stuck.
Right.
Whereas it could be, instead of a couple of $100,000 revenue, it could be a couple of 100,000 million, a couple of
Right.
hundred million
Right.
revenue, you know, because this thing should be mass marketed all over the world, you
Oh,
know,
thank you so
different
much.
languages. And that's the other thing you may consider, different languages. All
Right.
Yes.
right. You know, and so God has really placed something in your lap. I thank God for you. This is truly revolutionary. I mean, literally, I teach financial literacy, and this is just really revolutionary. It,
Oh,
it
thank
is
you so much.
revolutionary.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thank you. We have, and when you talked about sense to sense, I also actually I've been trademarked. Sense to sense is trademarked now. Our logos and everything are trademarked. Stuff is copyrighted. We had all that. Probably about when we first started, we knew that
Yeah.
because once people started I didn't realize that Sense to Sense was so catchy, but then people started letting me know. I was like, okay, well, I probably should. And then saw other people, and then sometimes, yeah, we see other people using it, want to make sure that they know that it's trademark,
Right.
and we will. You got
So
to
we,
put
we
some
knew
respect
that
Hey,
on it.
we had a
and I have
vision.
go ahead. After
I
you
was just going to say we had the
talk about, I
vision.
want to say something.
We had a vision, so we knew that legally we had to be in place. So legally we
Hmm.
got ourselves together because we don't want to get to a point and somebody else, do some of the things that, take it on. They have ownership. So we're excited and we appreciate all the support. Lots of companies have contacted us. We've done a lot of virtual classes with colleges and with their Upward Bound programs, but we're waiting on that to go ahead and take us to the next level.
Okay,
Well,
and Dot and Ashley,
Yes,
another
ma'am.
question I want to ask you is this: you just started a new business, and there's many people out there starting a business, and some of the, most people, they start a business is not very successful. Basically, the first 5 years in most companies is going to be more of a hobby. They'll start seeing a profit after the
Mhm.
fifth year. But you guys sound like you're getting a profit in your first second year is great, but can you just give a little bit of information as to how you started out, so other people starting their business? Did
Mhm.
you get any investors? Was your next step do LLC, or did you get incorporated?
Okay.
How did you basically start so others can learn who's trying to start a business as well? What was the steps that you basically had to follow through?
Actually, that is one thing I actually love to do. My personal page on Instagram is Sis Start the Business, because I love helping people start business. I've helped my
Mhm.
cousin come out with a makeup line. I helped my best friend from kindergarten come out with a journaling business. That's something that I love. First of all, the biggest thing that you have to do is have a plan. My
Right.
Yeah.
cousin, when I was telling her this is what I do want to do, her and my mom, I still call her now. I'm like, hey, the class, I need to figure out how to do this. And she's like, I was writing stuff in my phone, like on my notes on phone. She was like, oh no, you need a real paper and a real pen,
Black and white.
black and white, to write it down. And every Sunday
writing doesn't exist.
follow up with me. She would follow up with me and she said, okay, what have you done this week? like I think I still have the note in my phone. Like week 3 was like, hey, get your LLC. Once you get your LLC, go ahead and start your business account. And it was just like a checklist. And we're
Right.
also going to do a class on entrepreneurship. Me and my mom are going to team together to do classes on entrepreneurship for the youth and anybody else looking to start a business. I went on, if you have a product base, you can find some place like Shopify. I love Shopify. I just learned that they have a $5 starter plan where you can start selling anything you want for $5 just to see how it goes. And then the biggest thing is the reach. Marketing is a big deal for everything, of course, and that's, I know that because my mom is, this is my mom. Uh, also Facebook ads. The Facebook ads, getting in touch with people outside of the region. People think that Facebook ads is super expensive. You can start with as little as $5 to reach people that are like the people interested in your product. If your
That's
auntie,
right.
right, your auntie, your cousin, or but there's someone who knows, who wants to know more about what you have to offer to the world, and you can get in front of those people. Start your business, get your LLC, get your EIN number, and don't pay somebody to do either one of those.
Mhm.
It's super easy. And I mean, you can always, I'll make sure Miss Tanya has my info. So anybody interested in that, I'll definitely be willing to help. Once I got the LLC, then we started. Then later on down the line, it's like, oh wait, we need to trademark this. And also at the same time, 6 months of me starting, I got ill. So it was a lot of stuff that I wasn't able to do. But
But let me say this: a lot had already happened because we had a format, okay, like the checklist. We're gonna do A, B, C, D. When Ash, and then we had to find a way to distribute our product. And back then, we were distributing our product out of her house. So people would send us the orders, and we were like this major company. And we were sending those orders out. We got orders in the day. We were packaging them, and there's a picture where she's on the floor with all these orders that are coming in.
I was tired.
But the neat thing about it is when she got ill, and we're at the hospital and in the hospital, and she said to me, "Mama, what'd you say?
What I say?
Close. I can't do
Oh
this.
yeah, that I did. That's the one time I quit. I was like, this phone, how are people still buying this stuff? And I'm in the hospital. I can't talk. I can't move.
She's like,
And I'm like, throw this phone. And she was like, oh no, you're not. And I was like, okay.
Oh no, you're not.
But at that
Hey, look,
point, my 10-year-old was telling my husband was thinking he could help with the packages when I was in the hospital in Atlanta. So I would get the orders and I try to tell him, my husband, what to do. But my 10-year-old was telling my husband, like, you need to get out of the way. I got this, dad. And we had to go through that. I mean, all my kids, sometimes I pass by the little blue USPS box. I'm like, y'all remember when we used to take all those packages and say grow and grow, go and grow. And now we're in a fulfillment center. People get their orders, they get it fast. They get it fast.
we got a warehouse, y'all.
Yeah, so I have a fulfillment center that does all of that, and it's such a blessing. Because, like she said, that picture when I was on the floor, it was when Black Lives Matter and COVID hit, and the shipping was all delayed. Like, remember when it's a crazy part of shipping at one point? People were wanting this stuff, we weren't getting this stuff, and I was stressed out. But to go back and look at that now to see how much my business has grown is an absolute blessing.
We're so thankful.
all right. So when you get ready to take it to the next level, and you're going to mass produce with a major corporation, before they invest, they're going to want to look at all of your history, your records. So your records and the forecast of what your projection, in other words, so they're going to want records of all that, your profit, your loss, and I'm sure you ladies already have all that.
We have good records because what we did is we contracted a company to do our record keeping for us.
All right.
And
and that's very important. That's a very important part of
a business.
About businesses. You need to make sure you're keeping records. You need to make sure you're being profitable. Your EBITDA, we'll talk about
Mhm.
that in class, but you
Yes,
got
yes, yes.
you have to make sure that you're being profitable. A lot of people, even with 2020, I saw a lot of people became entrepreneurs, and it's like it became like, oh, I'm an entrepreneur, I have this, and I wanted to reach out to more people, and that's how I started my coaching. Is like, hey, we got to make sure that this is making sense. 2 cents. Is it making common sense? Is it making some sense?
Is it
Cha-ching,
making commas?
type
That's
of
right.
thing.
That's right.
Okay,
Yes,
Ashley, I
yes.
want to get
Yes.
in your face-to-face class is scheduled for September 17th. Do you know where and how are you marketing it so I can put it here now? Uh-huh.
We're getting ready to. We're just packaging it, and we thank you, Tanya, as well, because I hit Tanya up. You know what we do is in business we call those persons that can sow into our lives, and Tanya, our first one actually will be over there at your office. I do have a complete schedule, and we're going to be doing them out on Garden City to get started. Now, what I can do is we're working on the advertising component of it now, which will all be digital. But I'll get with you after the call, and we'll talk about some of the things. But look out for it. Patrice is always on Instagram. Once we get all the specifics, it'll be posted there. But one thing I would like for her to talk about is that we've created some curriculums that deal with budget. And for those persons that can't come to class, which I think is such a big deal, they can buy the curriculum, part one, two, three, four, five, and
I forget about stuff that I do.
You,
Yes, that's a
you
good point.
cannot because
Yeah, I forget.
homeschool parents need those things.
exactly. And
Yes,
I was telling her that, and and I don't know how she forget it because all night, all day, that's what we've been working on. So, but that's a crucial part too, and it's another component because what we want to do is like stay on the cutting edge and constantly be aware of what's going on in the market and what people need. Because these programs we've done it in the church before we've actually packaged it, and this is something that the school system can really benefit from.
Absolutely.
So
You
with
want
the school system saying that they need to have, or now they're going to put financial literacy inside the school. This is a big opportunity for you. So what do we need to do to help you make sure that you're at least in Chatham County before you start blowing up and being all over the country?
if you know someone in the school system, if you would let them know about Ashley, we're going to start doing we're going to do. We have two different groups. We're going to do. We have a 8 to 11 group that we're going to do small snippet classes for at the Southwest Library. We're working on the dates for that. Then once the classes that we package, we're going to have our 11 to 14-year-olds in the morning, and about 2 to 5, we're going to have our 14 to 17-year-olds where we're going to start giving this information out to people, trying to get as many people out to know it and as many people talking about it. So if anyone knows how they could assist us with this curriculum, we just finished it and it's good. It comes with a workbook, um,
a parent's guide.
a parent's guide, a lot of ebooks. My mom always says I forget, but once I get caught up in a project and I go 100% and 150, then I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I forgot I got a board game or an app or something. I also have an app, guys. So if you can't come to class or get the flashcards, you can download the app and have the flashcards digitally.
Okay.
Did,
Actually, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm about to make a purchase. But I see something that says kid friendly budget envelopes. What is that?
Those are okay. These are one of the favorite things at the bank. A lot of stuff I got from people at the bank. Envelopes. Some of the people that use the budget envelopes, they had the best management skills of their finances. So now we have that for kids. We have the save, invest, donate, and spend budget. So when your child is getting money, again, they can see it in the clear envelopes. Hey, I have $20. I'm putting this much in invest. I'm putting this much in save. I'm putting this much in spend. That's one of my favorite products because I know how on an adult level, if the kids can get that at a small age. But see, what's a thing now? Kids have cards. They have cards. Kids are 12 with cards. I think we could give them at 10 when I was working at the credit union. And so a child will have a card, and if their budget is $20, guess what? They have that card and it's $21. They still gonna swipe it. But let them see let them create the habit. Oh no, all I have in this clear envelope is 20. So I
Okay.
have to stay in the bed budget. I'm not adding, speaking nothing else in on the buggy once my mama gets up there and is not paying attention. Let them see that for themselves. And I enjoy those are one of my other favorite products. I think all of them are my favorite
I think
products.
so too.
Okay. And
They
I
should
also
be.
see that you also have digital 52 week savings calculator and the budget calculator for kids that they can actually utilize online on your site. That's awesome because I'm using it right now.
See, and
I'm
that's how you
using
know how much money you're supposed to put in
it.
each
Yeah.
envelope.
Wow. This is awesome. Okay. I like that. This is awesome. Okay.
Hey, well, somebody put it out already. Shark Tank, Shark Tank, Shark Tank. But you know what? The value of Shark Tank is if you want to really explode, but then you have to be willing to give up. But you know what? There's so many people out there where you don't really have to go that route that
Right,
are still be
exactly.
willing to help you explode your business, you know,
Let
because
Shark Tank come to you
I'll
and don't
contact
leave you
Tyler
alone.
Perry for you. I know him personally.
Please, thank you.
That would be
I'm
great
just
because
kidding, girl. I don't know Tyler.
we made a
That's
decision
a
not
good
to.
contact right there.
We made a
Tyler
decision not to
Perry.
go with Shark Tank. We have had a lot of people reach out to us to say, but they wanted to end up with the ownership, and we end
right.
up with a percentage of their income. And because this is so personal, I mean, I've been putting this in her ear since she was a little person, and for her to get ill and God just really blow this up in her mind, we're just not willing to give it up for money because we
I don't
want the,
blame
we really want the money, but the blessing is all the people we can empower.
you.
Well, once you're able to do that,
The money will
the whole
come.
servant leader, everything else will come.
Exactly.
This has been, there's an anointing in it, and you can see it on your faces how heartfelt
Mhm.
this project is. And once you do that and you're focused on helping people, the financial blessings of it will definitely flow. I mean,
Thank
this show has been an incredible show. Helping children and then understanding that we're never too old to learn and you're never too young to
Yes,
learn.
ma'am.
You just have to be willing and have a willing and open vessel for learning so that we can pour into others. And you're helping others all across. You're talking about entrepreneurship, how to start businesses, how to make sure that your finances are on point. And what it means, you're opening a business, but are you making money? Because if it's big dollars, you say it,
Right,
they say it doesn't make sense. And
right.
so I have thoroughly enjoyed the show. I'm hoping that those who weren't able to watch today catch this show on our replay, and watch it over and over and over again so that you don't miss any parts that you've had. Because you're helping daycares, Tanya saying homeschool, the public
Mhm.
school system, whoever knows and has it in, and we're going to share this and invite those that we know in the superintendent's office to take a look and to reach out. So you absolutely know that we'll do that as well. And I just
Thank
want
you.
to thank you both. Thank you, Mom, for
Thank you.
being that strong backbone for your daughter, and teaching her early about financial literacy and then her catching it on and taking fire
Mhm.
and wanted to share that with children.
Mm.
So thank you, Mom, for being that
So
strong
much.
person to continue to encourage her, even when things felt overwhelming. And we just want to say thank you, Mom. Thank you, Ashley, for continuing what you do and for being excited about it.
Oh, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all for having me. I really appreciate it. My one last thought, my one last shebang is I want you
Yes.
all, everyone listening to know that the wealthy talk about money at the dinner table with their children. They talk
Mhm.
about it. It's an easy conversation. So find out how you can incorporate it in your life because you're wealthy. You need to be having these conversations.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Ashley,
Thank
and
you.
thank you. I see your next project as being your book on how to overcome, even though you have a major illness,
That's
and
right.
to really still
Now you're gonna make us start crying.
Absolutely.
And she would make me cry first.
I remember how your mom was crying and stressed while you were ill. So that is such a powerful message for people that have illnesses that just don't see themselves being able to make it. And you are able to do that and have overcome. And I'm so proud of you. And I
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Miss Tanya.
You are welcome, and we definitely will have you back. I want you to put the game up so that everybody can see Sense to Sense. I mean, we put it. This was the first time on our Facebook that we made you bigger than us.
Oh,
We have never done that before. So you were the big picture, and we were the little.
thank you. That's so sweet. I'm super excited. I hope people found this information valuable. I hope I can continue to help you all as much as possible. And I'll be sure when the game is out, I want to make sure we send it to you and your list so you all can have a discount code. We can get that out to your crew.
Well,
Awesome.
All right, I'm hold off on hitting this and sale button to stop until I get that discount.
I'm sending it to you now, Miss Tanya.
Button to say purchase.
I'll
All
be
right.
sending.
Well, you guys just hang on tight for a second. We want to thank everybody for being here with us. We are here every Friday at 1:00 on All Things Relevant. This is Tanya Scott Pilcher with Financial Sense. And as always, I say, live life like there is no tomorrow. Madflo, take us out.
Hey, this is Madflo. I'm not crazy, guys. I'm just mad about helping you to understand how to make that money work hard for you. We had a great show today. So everyone that saw this show right here, please share. This is All Things Relevant with Tanya Scott Pilcher, Anthony Murray, Rosetta Miller, Gardner. Great.
You're going to get my name right. Ronetta
Miller
Gardner. With glasses on it. But this is All Things Relevant Media. And we had a great show today. So look for us again next Friday at 1 p.m. And we're going to have another exciting show. I want to thank our guests today. I'm ready to make that purchase of what they were advertising today. I mean, it was absolutely fantastic. You guys have a great weekend. And I think we have a holiday coming up, right?
No.
Holiday coming up September.
This is you going into August. Okay.
We got to go through August first, honey.
Because I have to travel. That's why I have to go back out for another 2 weeks in Massachusetts. But you guys have a great day. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Make it a great day.
Bye.
like this.